Underwood and Blues Time in the City. You can pick us up at www.kuaw.org or go to the TuneIn app and search KUAW. Listen to us. We're on 24 hours a day. That's KUAW Radio.
We're standing
Kansas
by
City's
for the
global
show's getting ready to
community
start
radio
in just
station.
a couple of
And this
minutes.
is what
We've
you
now
hear
gone
every
live
day from
on
noon to
YouTube,
2.
Facebook,
Don't
Twitch,
miss the
and
Cheryl
Twitter.
Underwood Show.
Where you at, baby?
Sure, I'm at my first alma mater, Clark Atlanta University in Atlanta, Georgia. CAU was the first HBCU in the southern United States. Shout out to our affiliate ATL Talks in Atlanta, Georgia, and everyone getting out there to vote for those 2 Senate seats. So we love you.
That's what I'm talking.
You are listening to KUAW Radio, home of the all-new Jamal Bakes Show, and I'm Jamal Bakes, and thank you so very much for listening to the station bringing you talk, news, entertainment that you won't get anywhere else. KUAWN of and about our community.
This is the last weekend before Christmas, and on
Right,
Blues Time in the
thank
City,
everyone
we're
for
rapping,
joining
get it,
KUAW
wrapping up our
Radio.
all
This is Kansas
Christmas
City's
blues and
global
soul
community
program.
radio station in Kansas City, Missouri.
We
We're
have
getting ready
a
to come up
very
now at the
special
3
guest
o'clock
that
hour.
you
We're
will
going to start off
definitely
with
enjoy.
the
And we'll
Comedy
hear from some of the
Power Hour
artists that
featuring
sing the
your
Christmas
host,
blues.
Janelle
Join
Banks.
me,
Stay tuned and
Gene
keep
Bailey
listening
for
to
Blues Time in the
KUAW
City
Radio.
this
We're
weekend
coming to
before
you live
Christmas
on the
right
TuneIn
here.
app, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Twitch. Yes,
This is
you can
comedian
pick us up
Janelle
all
Banks,
over the
and you are
place.
listening to
Just keep listening. This is
KUAW,
KUAW
Kansas
Radio,
City.
Kansas City's global community radio station.
KUAW listeners, this is Carl Boyd for Wave Your Grades, coming to you every Saturday from 1 until 2 p.m. right here on KUAW. This program features American students striving for excellence in honor of our troops and American veterans, encouraging American students. Please join us every Saturday from 1 until 2 p.m. right here on KUAW.
Now on the air in Kansas City, the Cheryl Underwood Show.
We are proud to be part of the KUAW family.
The Cheryl Underwood Show. Weekdays Monday through Friday at 12 noon. KUAW around the world on KUAW.org.
Todd Tribbett, we gonna be all right here on the Jamal Bakes Show. I'm your brother in Christ, Jamal Bakes. Thank you all so very much for hanging out with me, fam, for another weekend, all right? We've got a big show for you, man. As always, the Rose Show Live will be here with her Faith Move next. And we talked to my man, the Laugh Therapist, later on in the show. We've got music on the way from Doe. We've got Corinne Hawthorne, Keandra Lockett, brand new William McDowell. Cannot wait to share that one with you as well, all right? And a whole lot more. Listen, follow me right now on social media.
Bank of Blue Valley is a proud sponsor of KUAW
And now,
At Bank of
the
Blue
show
Valley,
you've been
we
waiting
have an
for. This
understanding of
is
financial
the
values sets
Comedy
individuals up
Power
for a strong
Hour
future.
featuring Miss
Whether you want to talk
Janelle
about
Banks
checking and
live
savings
right
accounts,
now
review
on
lending alternatives, or discuss starting your
KUAW
own
Radio.
business, we have the right people to listen and advise.
All right,
Visit
you
us.
guys are on the air.
Excited. My aunt Linda is also a pastor and a minister, and I just love that. Nick is also as well, and he's a stand-up comedian. So I love Aunt Linda. Nick is like my you in person. Like, that's the person I love to pray with before shows and just like, get into the moment and get word from. And I always reach out to him when I need to not have a petty moment, but go above and call on the spirit. Nick is my person sometimes. So
no, that's right. Hello, Pastor Nick.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good, and yourself?
Doing good. Just been home. The kid doing homeschool right now.
Oh, bless your heart. I'm in my recliner, just chilling. That's what my life is about, sitting in the recliner. I paid my dues. I'm glad we don't have to homeschool. I thank God for educators.
All right, you guys are live and on the air.
All right. Thank y'all for tuning in to the home edition of the Comedy Power Hour. This is a little different today. We are going remotely, but I figure why not be in the spirit of the world and do this thing? So we're going to do it, and we have a great packed panel, and this is what I love about it. We're out remotely, and we are everywhere. So let's get into it. Today we have on the show my friend coming all the way out of H-Town, Tracy. How you doing? Yes. And then to the bottom, I don't even know how this is set up. I don't even know how y'all gonna see it. But we're just gonna bounce to the next person. I see we have Mr. Nick Cornell Nichols. Yeah, I'm saying that backwards. What's up, Cornell?
Hey, what's going on, everyone?
Yes. And then we have my beautiful, my profound, my loving, wonderful auntie in the building, Aunt Linda.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Hey, what's up, everybody? Blessing to be on the line with my beautiful niece. I'm excited about whatever's going to happen for the next hour.
It's going to be some stuff. Yes.
All right, now let's do it.
From Memphis. I don't know. I don't want to say the Orange Nine. He might be from another part, but we have Richard Jones in the building.
I am definitely not from Orange Mound. Thank you for having me. Hello, Radio Land. No, definitely not Orange Mound.
I just started listening to rap music, and I figured I found out that was a part, and I just got hyped. So I apologize.
Sure. I get it. It is definitely a part of the city that needs some shine and some shout out. It is one of the first places in America where Black people were allowed to buy homes. So yes, okay. Orange Mound should definitely be celebrated at all times.
The lesson in the gems. Yes. This is why I love stuff like this, and I just love comedy because we are actually some very educated people, and we know a lot of awesome things. And I love when you can hear it in the format of a joke, So let's get into it. This portion of the show is called The Internet Strikes Again, and the internet has been busy. I think the internet makes all things funny, all the tragic things that have been funny. So I mean, let's just address the elephant in everybody's room. January 6th, 2021, just came on in with style, and all the things that occurred. The internet took no time, wasted no time diving in. What are some of the things that y'all have saw on the internet that has tickled y'all funny bone? Because they've been busy.
The no-fly list video.
Check that out on Twitter.
Bruh, what she said, the no-fly list videos. Oh my God.
Yeah. I don't think I've seen that one.
Bruh, no, not that one. Them.
It's them. That's simple.
I haven't.
Bruh, they grabbing.
I haven't seen those. I haven't seen them either.
They grabbing white folks off of planes.
And then one of them, he's like, "You're treating me like a black person."
Okay, I heard that one. I heard that one. I didn't see the video.
Yeah,
listen,
off planes. They grabbing them at baggage claim. They grabbing them.
No, let me tell y'all something. This wasn't on it. This wasn't on it.
I'm like, if we gotta hold people accountable, we gotta start at the airline and the toll people that are like letting these people through the gate. So I'm very excited for the no-fly videos. I'm definitely gonna check more of those out. I did see the one where the guy was like, "I love all of you. I would never do this to you," and I was like, no, you don't, because you wouldn't do what you did.
Right.
You wouldn't do this. So, but then that makes me nervous because I'm like, well, where are they grabbing those names? Because could I end up being? I mean, I have nothing to do with that.
Well, here's what it is. Here's what it is. I'll tell you what it is. This is because I was fascinated by this as well. Here's what it is. This is how they're finding people. Okay, the Capitol building is very old, and there's a lot of stone and stuff like that. And there's a lot of times that people have to do stuff underground. So basically, the Capitol is its own cell tower, right?
Yeah.
So it's got its own cell tower, it's got its own Wi-Fi, and it's got its own Bluetooth. So as soon as you get in the vicinity of the Capitol, your phone gets pinged.
You get tagged.
That's how they're catching people.
And they call them that and facial recognition. They posting all on their social media pages.
Okay.
For some type of trophy and things of that particular nature. So the ones that may not have posted, but may have had their cellular devices on them, they were picked up. They found out who they were
at the Capitol. Yeah, that's how That's how they're catching a lot of people.
Technology, dang.
Well, that is so cool.
Right, that is so awesome. I am fascinated, and that just goes to show, like, what is that number one rule? You got to be careful of what you do on the internet, because the internet will get you.
Nah,
it'll catch you every time.
That ain't what this is.
Working in technology, when you do stuff like that, working in technology.
No. The lesson to take away from this is your whiteness is not going to keep you out of jail. That's the lesson. That's the lesson.
That's true. But are they going to keep them in jail?
Well,
that's the thing.
Charges.
Not at all.
It's federal charges, but to me, Trump should have been thrown in jail on last week, and he's still walking around here. So they still have white privileges, because had that been Obama, they would have already executed him.
Let me tell you something. Had that been Obama, they would have unironically lynched him on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial.
That's what I'm saying. For real. Straight up.
Mm-hmm.
Straight up. So then there again, we have white privileges. I'm gonna make y'all laugh. When we were riding last Wednesday, unaware of what was going on, my daughter was looking on the internet, and I'm driving, so she was like, "Oh my God!" And I'm like, "What happened?" And she said, "Mama, they riding the White House. They like taking over the government." And I said, "They better not be black. Who taking over the government?"
No, come on now. We wouldn't have made it. We wouldn't have made it that far.
She said,
"No." The street.
Right.
She said, "Go ahead."
That's the first thing out of our mouth, and it's just that whole village. Because I know I couldn't be out there, because my auntie, my cousin, whoever in them would have whooped my tail for being, or cussed me out. Exactly. Like, nobody in our families would have allowed more than 20 of us to be out there. Like, whoever out there.
Look,
we would have been saying that. Look, I thought we was protesting, but them people breaking in them folks' house. I'm out of here. I'm out of here. I ain't staying.
First of all, had it been a bunch of black people, we wouldn't have made it to the Capitol steps. Let's stop.
And you sure right about it, bro.
Let's start.
We wouldn't even got that close.
We wouldn't have made it to the Capitol steps, much less into the Capitol.
Exactly.
Not to mention,
you're right.
If we tried to make it to the Capitol, they would have opened fire. They would still be cleaning up bodies.
They still would be cleaning our blood off the ground.
Yep, but they'd have found guns from somewhere.
Yeah, nah. It's crazy, but I will say what has made me kind of chuckle and just have at it is the memes that are going on. I can't, for me, I just don't even know how people come up with the memes, or just I just want to know where these people live. Like, what are they doing? To me, memes are now, they're gonna have to be in history books. You know what I'm saying? Because
you can literally make a meme on your phone.
It's so.
But just how certain ones have just I don't just how they come up so quickly.
Just say the right thing.
In 10 minutes, there's meme. Not less than 10 minutes, there's just meme after meme, and it's crazy and incredible how they generate so fast, but so iconic.
Yeah, I think I heard what Chris Rock, he said that memes are the new one-liners. He said it's just a quick laugh and they just take over.
Yeah.
So has any memes just took y'all whole breath away during this whole process? Because I'm here for it. Please.
I like the one where they put the Mario when he fall down.
Mario.
Oh, that took me out. That was just
the funniest thing. I thought, I was just and I felt because it's end result of that, but I'm just baby. That was the piece that came on. I know y'all seen the Busted Challenge. That's been trending. So, the Busted Challenge is women transforming themselves and twerking. Well, a young lady did the busted challenge.
Magical. That's what I learned from the busted challenge. Makeup is magical.
Oh my God.
Bunch of David Copperfields running around this piece.
A bunch. A bunch.
But young lady did it. It was hilarious. She put on a backpack and a red shirt, and she's just dancing. And then she drops down.
Drops down off the wall. Yeah,
and I cried, y'all. Like, I mean, I hollered because it's just, to me, like, this is what makes it funny because, like, one, we're gonna have to write this into the history books, and no matter how McGraw-Hill tries to flip this baby, we got
this is
the archive, we got the videos, we got Cardi B would say, we got footages.
Well, that's the thing that this is such a unique time that separates us from the rest of history, is because we've got better receipts. You know, history. Usually they say that history is written by the victor, but like now we got videos, so like you can look at history objectively and you know, formulate your own decisions versus having the spin fed to you.
Yes,
there's no disputing the what's already set in stone. You can't say, oh, well, you know, we're only going to, you know, document this. There's
That's why we're in this mess in the first place. People are disputing what is set in stone. There is disputing, but I'm just saying, when people look back on this and say 20 years or so, they'll have just the evidence. Like, this is the evidence.
Yeah.
Like me keeping text messages from 1999 and emails.
We got screenshots. Yeah,
I got emails from 1999. I'm ready.
Got the receipts.
Receipts.
Exactly. And that brings me to my next subject, is just laughing at, and it's crazy how like everything covers this one day, but it's crazy the things that we.
Yeah, I think that's the things that we kind of.
Oh no, we got. Oh, oops. Okay, we're good. The thing about it is that we just have to laugh at a lot of the things that are going on, because I mean, I remember like what made me so angry that day is watching one of the women being escorted down the stairs and her hand was being held. And that drove me insane, because I'm thinking back to this summer where, as a Black woman, I felt so guilty for not going to protest, because I have like
in where I live in Memphis, Tennessee, 2 people show up with a drum and a sign, and they come out in full riot gear on horses.
Right.
No, I'm not exaggerating. I'm maybe slightly, but
no, I believe you.
Maybe 10 protesters at one point in Memphis, where I live. 10 protesters, 10, and they showed up in full riot gear, shields, the whole nine. Like the day that people were trying to protest in front of the local jail, the cops decided to show up with their new taser shields, like Captain America or something. I was like, where you get a taser?
Taser shield.
Right. Why are you a stormtrooper today? How did that happen? You know, so I know one of the things that scared me going to the protest were things like that, and the legal stipulations. Like, you still have people dealing with legalities and issues from protesting back when, you know, Trayvon was it stresses me out with how they have treated and handled us at these protests. And they're literally peaceful protests. We've never they guarded Target in Minnesota better.
Let's be real. Let's be real. We know the time. We know that for the most part, as a people, like we're not swinging first. If we're acting out violently, it's usually reactionary. Right. And a lot of cases, when stuff has been popping off, we all know what's going on. It's them crazy little white kids that get up there and want to be anarchists and burn everything down and show off, and then we get wrapped up in their foolishness. Like you talking about a Black Lives Matter rally, and instead of talking about the issue at hand, you want to talk about Antifa. Like, bro, we don't know Antifa. I don't know.
We don't know who those people are.
I know lots of people with crazy names. I ain't never met nobody named Antifa.
Not one Black person named Antifa. Not one.
Nobody. I've never heard. Hey, your Antifa called me today. Go check on her.
Hey, Antifa, get your butt across that street.
Your Aunt Tifa fell. I gotta help her get up. She fell getting out the bathtub.
I had to take Aunt Tifa to the store today, y'all.
Right. When you get done cutting the grass, call your Aunt Tifa, see if she got some errands for you to run.
Yeah. That's what we need to just keep responding on every news source that says something about Antifa. My aunt Antifa was not there.
I will have you know, my aunt Tifa is just fine.
My aunt Antifa didn't take her diabetic medication today, but she'll be all right.
Yeah.
No, my aunt Tifa got the sugar. She can't have no. She can't have no soda. She got the sugars. Don't take Aunt Tifa.
My Aunt Tifa blocked me because I asked her to let me borrow $100 for the light bill.
I can't with y'all. This is why I love people. We needed this.
Aunt Tifa got that one son that we don't talk about with his new name.
His name was Antifa.
Absolutely. So let me get into just individually, since it's so many people on the show today and I'm very excited. My heart is very full. I want to just start picking our brains. So this has been the subject, with all comedians across the board of how they've maneuvered, and held, with the pandemic, just how are we functioning? How are we coexisting? Are we still doing stand-up? Are we doing stand-up live? How are we just, maneuvering through this? But what we don't ever ask, is how are people who are connoisseurs of comedy, who love comedy, who are going to shows, who pay for shows, how are they handling this? Are they still going to shows? Are they doing Zoom shows? Like, what is the receiving end of comedy? I've always been concerned with how the audience feels. We don't really survey y'all, So I definitely wanted to get my Aunt Linda on here. What I love about her is she's a comedy connoisseur and she loves some heavy hitters in the game. And although she is just, profound in her ministry and her walk, I love it because she still is just that she loves comedy. And I wanted to just pick her brain about how she felt about, since the pandemic is hit. Have you went to shows? Have you been doing virtual shows? Aunt Linda, give me your aspect of comedy now in 2020 and 2021.
Well, Janelle, no, I have not attended any comedy shows since the pandemic. Actually, your live taping of Silence of the Ham was my first time doing the virtual thing, and I really did enjoy it. I haven't tuned in to anybody else, but yeah, it's made a difference because to be honest with you, I don't really think that I would go to the comedy club right now because I am what they say elderly now, and I do have health concerns, and so I don't put myself in position to have a encounter with the virus. I really try to stay away from places of people that I don't really know or be around that I'm around on a constant basis. But anyway, everybody needs to laugh, and I love comedy. I used to go every weekend to the Improv. That was my thing. I'm not into the club thing anymore. Not that there's anything wrong with that if that's what you choose to do, but that's not my walk right now. So I would go to the comedy club because I could go there and have good, clean fun and laugh and get the cares of the world off of me and whatever was going on in my life. It was a good place for me to unwind and to laugh. And I'm so excited about you, and I'm excited about what God is doing for you, because we do know that without him, nothing is possible. So I'm looking for you to do great things and to be at the clubs. I'm hoping that this virus will pass, because you're going to be big. And I do want to come to the club to be able to see you perform and do what God has gifted you to do. I hope that answered your question. If not, you can ask me another question, and perhaps I'll get it this time.
Doors to the church is now open.
Yes.
Won't you come? Won't you come?
Won't you come?
Ways, especially with Nick being on the show as well, I've always wondered, do you feel that especially for you, Aunt Linda, do you ever feel that humor is proper in church? Is it a proper place for comedy in the church? Have you ever felt it's a way to be used, or
Oh yeah, most definitely. God has a sense of humor. He created me, and I know he be there up there looking at me saying, "You know what, girl? Now for real, you gonna do that again? Or that's how you gonna do that? That's how you gonna say that?" But if a person cannot laugh, there's something wrong with them. And I think that if God gifted you with that gift to do comedy, because all things come from him, all gifts come from him, that has been established, that's true. And so if he gave you that gift, he's going to place you on a platform that you'll be able to glorify him and also do what he's gifted you to. So, yeah, there's room in the church. We got clowns up in the pulpit all the time. Yes. Whether they want to admit that they're clowns or not, but they're, comedians or whatever. I'm not saying that you guys are clowns, but what I'm saying is we got so many people in the pulpit that should not be in the pulpit. What's wrong with the comedian coming? If you can get the message across that Jesus Christ lives and that he's my savior, I don't care how you do it, but if you get the message across, that's the most important thing.
I've been to a couple of funerals where the minister did a high five. I was like, this brother doing a high five. Let me find out.
Right. Right. I have actually went to church and I heard a woman preach. And I was so inspired the night stage, just her cadence and her flow. Like, I was like, oh my God, like, you need to have that on stage as a comic. You know what I'm saying? She read the crowd. She knew what she was doing, so I agree. Richard, comedians definitely be doing a high five or a hot 40 up top.
Yeah.
So, Tracy, I have you on here because I know you are a huge person who loves comedy, and I met you because of comedy. But you have been one of those people who have been out to show. And I know we
went to go see Gary Owen and at the Improv, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's not gonna. They're gonna have tables socially distance. There was none. Like literally, there was a guy that was sitting almost on my lap because he was so close, and so my allergies was acting up. So I started coughing in order for him to move away.
Now, this was
Gary, your allergies would bother you. That's the way to get people off of you. Now, just start coughing and sneezing, they go run.
Yeah.
Have you noticed?
I don't know. Was he at the same table with you, or was he at a separate table?
He was at a separate table, but the tables were so close, like it's another day, like it's pre-COVID.
So,
like it was
they're not doing plexiglass. I thought they had plexiglass.
No, none.
Well, Houston Improv. She said they don't have
at the Houston Improv.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, baby. I won't be going no time soon.
Yeah, I don't think I'd go to another show. Honestly, and had I not been invited to go, and the person that paid for the ticket, she spent like $160, and had she not spent that much, I would have said I'm not going. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Because that was crazy. The fact that. Not only that, he wouldn't even put on his mask until I actually started coughing. And I'm like, dude,
wow.
Pay attention to your date. Get off of me. Go over there. So he finally he starts inching closer to her. Thank you. God down. Even Gary Owen said something about it. He was like, y'all just don't believe in social distancing, huh?
Yeah, no, they don't. That's crazy. That's
crazy.
That's real crazy.
Have y'all noticed that people don't say bless you anymore? Like you sneeze and people are like,
no, everybody look at you like, no. Everybody with the what is it on Friday they hit you with that, like what is that?
Yeah, like, no.
You gotta hold in your cough now.
I was looking at the game and this guy starts coughing. He just I moved my food over and turned my back. And he was sitting like more than 6 feet away from me, but I just I don't care if he took offense.
Holding my cough is what I'm gonna get killed of.
You wouldn't go to another show?
No, I wouldn't. Not unless they've actually changed some things, confirmed to have changed. No, I'm good.
I don't blame you.
I'm good.
I'm glad to know that.
Oh, go ahead, Linda. I'm sorry.
No, I was saying I'm glad to know that because I was wondering had they did anything to accommodate social distances and whatever. I mean, it's real. The virus.
They said on their website they were, but clearly they weren't.
They're not. Yeah. Man, I was in church a couple of Sundays ago, and we have the glass partition up between me and the ministers and the musicians, and y'all, I needed to cough because I was kind of like had some drainage going on, and I was like, man, I can't cough. But I started coughing. These people gonna get up out this church and leave. So I was sitting there seriously trying to hold this in, give me a drink of water, and but it was just I had all kind of things going through my head. If I start coughing, these people gonna think I got COVID, So it's a trip.
It is. I struggle with that being in Houston. My allergies were extremely horrible. And everywhere I went, I'm just either clearing my throat or, I'm up here like sneezing. And I'm like, Lord, please don't let people, especially with me coming from out of town, I'm adapting.
Oh, yeah, we was looking at you under-eyed every time you would rub your eyes or sneeze. We were like, we don't know where Janelle been. Look, we don't know where you been. Yeah. Why you traveling doing COVID, girl? We up under this virus thing.
Came on down here. Come on now.
You didn't came. Glad to see you, but baby, stay behind the glass. Stay behind the glass. We glad to see you. You don't have to come in, baby. Yeah, we see you, Janelle. You looking good, baby. Well, we'll see you next time. Just joking. We just went and had our COVID test after she left. That's all.
Right. Just spray it down with Lysol. That's all you do.
It's like spray it down with Lysol.
Hey, baby. Now turn around.
You know that Southern hospitality.
Have y'all been doing like individually produced shows outside of comedy shows? Because that's one thing I haven't really dwelled into yet, and I know there's going to be different precautions and things taken. So, Richard or Nick, have y'all done anything outside of individually produced shows?
Go ahead, Nick.
So you talking like us putting it on or other people putting it on?
Either yourself producing or other producers.
No, I mean the shows and the local shows in KC. If it's been independent produced show outside of a club, they're pretty big on the social distance aspect and hey, the mask, putting a glove on top of the microphone or a sandwich bag on top of the microphone. They take a lot of precautions in regards to if they're gonna put together, a show. And a lot of people don't like performing at the clubs because they're not social distancing as they should. So people would prefer to do independent produced shows because it's like the comics care more.
Yeah. Good to know too. I thought about it from that aspect too. I know here locally, I felt like a lot of people were kind of, hanging tight on the independent produced shows, but I'm starting to see them a lot in other cities. So I wonder how they were handling. Richard, what about you in your area?
That has actually been my absolute opposite experience. The best experiences that I've had have been in clubs. The closest chain club to me is in Little Rock, Arkansas. It's about 2 hours away, and they have a club there called the Looney Bin. And that was one of the clubs I went to where the manager was very much. He still managed to keep it packed, but keep it socially distanced. Like it looks like it's packed, but when you take a second, you're like, oh wow, they are legit like spaced out. And he's like, yeah, and he had all these things where he made sure to only sell tables of 4, and just all those kind of things to keep it open. And yeah, they literally would clean the mic in between each comic. There's a comedy club here in Memphis, Tennessee called the Comedy Junt, and it's a much smaller club, so the crowd, they can control the crowd a little bit, a lot more. So, and then they make you you have to wear a mask unless you're performing on stage, and like you said, the mic condom and all that other stuff. But yeah, no, I was traveling for a while. I was doing bar shows, and those were the places that just terrified me. I did a show out of town at a bar, and I walked in, and you'd have thought the record was going to scratch because I was the only person in the building with a mask on. People looked at me like I was crazy. And so and so then I finally get on stage. I'm taking off my mask. Fortunately, I travel with my own microphone and insist on using it. But like people were coming up to me trying to buy me shots and stuff, and I'm like having a strong arm people. And I'm like, get away from me! Like what?
Yeah, see, I seen that at clubs when I was in Wichita, the Wichita Looney Bin.
The Looney Bin.
Those white people, they would not. They're like, why you got your mask on? I'm like, what you mean? Why?
I don't know you.
Right? What you mean?
Then one lady was like, I already had COVID, so I'm fine.
Like, I haven't.
So it's opposite. Yeah.
And then the second part, like I do an open mic, but like producing my own show, no. I've done shows in a couple of comedy festivals via Zoom, but no, short of my open mic, I haven't really been producing anything.
Okay. So a lot of the things I have seen doing shows is comics are like, they'll come in, the headliners, and they're like, I ain't doing none of that meet and greet. I ain't taking no pictures. And then for a lot of these comics, this is like their first couple of times back on the road. So when they feel that adrenaline after the show, the first thing they do, go take pictures with people and go sell merch. And I'm like, but you said you weren't going to do that. And what I've noticed is that people will mask up until they go take a picture, and then they want to take the mask off. And I'm like, this is when we are at the closest proximity.
That is exactly when you put the mask on.
Exactly.
I keep my mask on, pictures and everything. You could tell I'm smiling.
You can tell I'm smiling. That's all you need to know.
Right.
Exactly. So for you, Nick and Richard, how have y'all kind of just been maneuvering through? I know we're doing less shows, we're going virtual. What has been some of the steps you have taken and since this pandemic that are a little bit different outside of what you normally do?
Not much actually. Like I wear a mask. That's really about it. Like all the other stuff I already did. Like whenever I left the club or like an open mic or something, I would constantly I have hand sanitizer in the car and Lysol in the car, and so I would routinely use hand sanitizer and spray myself down because again, I know what goes on in bars and comedy clubs, and I don't want to take that back to my house. So like I was doing that already. So like, the only thing that's different now is that I have a mask. That's really it.
Have you switched anything virtual, or have you spent more time online? Like I met you, for instance, in Clubhouse, and that was something I was like, man, I ain't finna do that because that's what all the cool people doing, and I ain't cool. And now I actually got like gems from you through Clubhouse. Like he helped me write out bits, y'all. And just being in that room and that dynamic, he really set the tone for the room to do that. And so do you feel like, because I feel like now you're a consultant, has that switched up for you, like just going to online platforms?
I mean, I was really kind of stuff I was doing anyway. Like in my comedy city, in certain circles, I'm the OG. So like I'm used to people coming to me for advice anyway. So this is just a different way to do the same thing.
Okay. What about you, Nick?
The biggest difference for me is the virtual shows. It's because my market was a college market, and so I had a lot of stuff planned. And as far as the schools got to spend their money, so they doing a lot of these Zoom shows, but they suck because college kids not gonna sit there and watch a show. They don't. First of all, when they go in person, they really don't pay attention. It's a free show, so expect them to do it on Zoom.
Yeah.
So it's like the first time sitting like I'm really doing this for the money. Like it is. Like that's all it is. I'm not about to have no fun, no nothing. Bruh. This is all about the money. 45 minutes.
Fortnite, bro. It's right there. Fortnite
and they be doing like I even started talking. They have no etiquette. Like people don't know how to act. A lot of this time, that's their first ever comedy show. So if they've never been to a comedy show in person, it's their first time online watching Zoom.
Yeah.
So they walking away from the computer. You hear people making food. It's a TV, and they just doing their own thing. It's like, yo.
It's like the staff at a comedy club.
Well, so that's the only biggest thing. Now, when I do shows in person, I'm already being, I always have hand sanitizer. I wash my hands and do all that stuff. Just the mask. In person, the mask is the only difference right there. But the biggest change has been the virtual shows.
Yeah, I think showers are much longer. I think after show, especially after shows, I'm just like, oh, them showers are like so long, and they're like, I used to come home and chill out and like bask in the glory, have a drink, talk on the phone. As soon as I come in the door, it's like, shower. You would have was in an OR somewhere.
No,
rubbing out.
No, ma'am. There's some days if like I said, I host an open mic and I have my own microphone. And if there were days that I forgot to bring my own microphone, like one of the first things I would do, I would pump hand sanitizer into my hand, rub it into my hands, and then rub it on my face.
No.
Okay,
so my skincare regimen, I cannot ever do that, but I like what you did there.
Right. I would rather do that than to have some stuff on my lip, have some stuff on his lip. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's get into this. Before we run out of time, I definitely want to just individually pick y'all brands, see what y'all have as upcoming projects. We all are in different realms of life, but I know Tracy has a podcast. I'm excited for my Aunt Linda because she's about to do a new project, as well as Nick. I know he has some new things. I know you relocating and new things are popping out for you, and as well as Richard. I just met you and I'm excited. Like, you about to be my new best friend. And I love Memphis. So now I have an excuse to go see my best friend in Memphis and all the other stuff that's in Memphis. Yes, I just want to pick y'all brain. What y'all got going on? I'm starting with you, Tracy. What you got going on?
So you mentioned the podcast. I do a podcast with a friend of mine. We actually met at the bar probably about 3 years ago. It's called OTM On the Mark with Tracy and Cliff. We mainly talk about sports, but sometimes we talk about life topics depending upon current events and things of that particular nature. We'll actually take our time and talk about topics. We're also starting an anchor of OTM On the Mark with Tracy and Cliff called OTM On the Mark After Dark, where what we do is about 10 or 11 o'clock at night on Wednesdays. We talk about relationships and, different relationship topics here and there, views from a man's point of view and a woman's point of view, in regards to, how do you feel about this from a man's point of view? She didn't take the trash out. How do you feel about your lady taking the trash out as opposed to you taking it? Stuff like that. We talk about things like that. On that particular part of the podcast. But we've been doing a podcast going on 2 years, and it's been fun. It's been fun. We've gotten a huge following. I'm shocked. I'm not even shocked. But I enjoy it. Honestly, I actually have my degree in broadcast journalism, and I always wanted to work behind the scenes. But it's like, how they say you want to make God laugh, tell him what you're not going to do. And that's pretty much what happened, because I always had, Holy Spirit, like, hey, you need to get in front of the camera. I'm like, no, I'm going behind, and lo and behold, here I am. So
yes, on Zoom, on a radio show. Won't he do it? He got
okay. So and I feel real comfortable in doing it. I've always, like I say, I just never thought that I would be one to be in front of the camera. I always wanted to be behind the scenes, but I actually don't mind being in front of the camera now. I love it.
Okay, well, let's get into it. Make sure y'all check it out. Make sure you tune in, like, subscribe, follow, what they say below, all of that stuff. But make sure you check it out. I've actually checked it out, and I engaged. I don't do a lot of the NBA, so I find out a lot of tidbits from y'all. I'm a football girl. I don't know who. Ever since everybody left the Celtics, I am out the loop. Okay,
NBA is my thing. I love the NBA. I love basketball.
So I need to pick
football. Right. They keep messing with my quarterback.
Listen, y'all gonna be, but y'all not gonna be in the playoffs. All right, moving on, Nick. Nick, what you got coming up for us and for the world to see?
Well, my biggest thing is I'm relocating. Like I currently been in Kansas City since like 2015 after school, and now I'm about to relocate back to St. Louis, my hometown.
Yeah.
And yeah, pretty much shifting the responsibility of help pastor like the church I grew up in, and like a church my great grandmother helped pretty much set the foundation for. And so my family excited about that. I'm excited about it. And like how you said, if you want to make God laugh, say what you're not gonna do. And like I didn't have plans on it. And then it just kept, I started feeling guilty, like not following through what I feel like I'm called to do, because I didn't know how to do comedy and also ministry, how that would play hand in hand. But I've been using all the comedy and my talent, my gift of comedy to pretty much deliver messages in a unique way that people all ages have been. Because I have an older members led by a pastor who's 77 years old, so it's older. But now the young people are watching it and starting to get more involved in their walk with God based on how I'm presenting the message and whatnot.
That's awesome. So you bring it to the church. I love that. Come on, Fred. Happy belated Founders Day as well. Blue side. Yes.
She always hype. Look at her.
I am all of those. Richard, tapping in. What do you have coming up next in Memphis or worldwide? What you got popping?
Ooh, let's see. My podcast, Black Nerd Power, is going into its 7th year. We're going into our 7th year broadcast. So we got that coming up. We'll be doing a live show January 16th. You can check us out on our network's network app, as well as network's Facebook page. That's the Kadzukian Network, KUDZUKIAN, Kadzukian, Black-owned podcast network. Yay. Let's see what else. My weekly open mic workshop is on Zoom. If you ever just hit me up on Facebook or Twitter or whatever. I do that every Thursday at 9:00 Central. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'm on Snapchat, but I never check it.
I ended up getting off Snapchat. I was like, you it's just like, really, you just gonna just send me a video of you doing a line of cocaine? All right, okay.
Okay.
All righty, here we go. Okay.
Yes,
that's about it for me. I'm doing some writing on certain stuff, so who knows where that's gonna go. But that's it.
That's awesome. Dang, superstar, seventh year. That's consistency. Yes. I get that
inspiration to keep going.
Do it. Yes. I'm Linda. What do you have coming up for the world? What's going on with you?
Well, I presently have a ministry called Happy Hour with Jesus, and I come on Sunday nights via the call-in. We do the call-in thing, and it's a prayer ministry that we pray for whatever people are asking for prayer for. I'm getting ready to, with the help of you and Saul, hopefully I'll be going Facebook Live. I do a Fired Up Friday for my sister on her with her prayer ministry. And I just want to encourage the people, man. There's so many people that are lost out here that they don't have any direction. The churches have disappointed people, and they have what they call church hurt and various things, but we have to go beyond the church walls to reach people. So my happy hour with Jesus time is for you to sit back with whatever your favorite thing is that you like to drink, and sit back and listen to a word of encouragement, to to give encouragement. I allow the guests, the people that call in to, if they have something that they want to say or discuss or have a question about, they're able to do that. I've been told that I needed to come up front and do some stuff live, that I have a audience, and so we're gonna probably by next month we'll be up and running with that. I'm old school, so I got to learn technology. I thank you for allowing me to be on today. I've learned a lot of stuff, and I'll be praying for the brother that's going home to his home church, because it's hard to go minister to the people that saw you grow up. And so being part of ministerial family, my dad has pastored over 61 years, 45 at the church that he's presently pastoring right now. So I've been in the position of first family, and I'm also an ordained minister, which has been different because at some point in time, the Baptist church did not accept women preachers. So I was actually one of the first women that started ministering at our home church here in Houston, Texas. So God has great things for us to do. There's a avenue for everybody. The word of God says until everybody hears about his son, Jesus Christ, that the mission will not be completed. So however we have to get the message out there, we have to do that. We have to be creative in delivering the word. The word never changes, but your method does. So kudos to my brother that's going back home, man. You touched my heart. I'll be praying for you. You keep the faith. You do what God has called you out to do. Don't let nobody stand in your way. Be obedient and humble to your pastor that's there right now. God is going to elevate you, my brother. He will. He's going to elevate you. So just do what you're doing. I want to be able to hear you too and see how you're delivering your message, because the world needs to hear what you're doing. And if you can make people laugh, as you can tell them that, hey, it's time for us to get it together because the times are winding up, and people need to believe there is a heaven and there is a hell. I am a hell-bound preaching preacher, because it's real. If it's in the Bible, then it is so. So there's a place for those that are doing the good things that God has called them to do, and there's a place for those that choose to follow the Antichrist. So that's just about where I'm at, Janelle. I'm just trying to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ. That's it, bottom line.
Yeah, I didn't know that was coming on the Comedy Power Hour, but people need to feel it. And I love that he just provides that voice in a whole humorous manner. You know what I'm saying? And that I love, because I always felt that, I need people to reach me, in my voice. So before I let y'all go, I want to just shout out a comic everywhere. I know some comics. I want to show love to a lot of comics, especially this pandemic that has been grinding. So if you know a comic, or if you want to shout out yourself for grinding through it, I'll start out first. I just want to shout out locally Thai Food Panda. This man has not stopped. If you know Thai Food, he battles a pre-existing medical condition, and he has not let that stop him. He is very strong, very resilient. Thai will go straight from the hospital to the stage. Is just a strong individual, and he's just not let this pandemic stop him. He has been grinding. He recently just opened up for Marlon Wayans this weekend. He helped open up my album recording with a bang, and I just love him to death. He is a great mentor in our community and a very strong comic. So I wanted to give him his roses. Shout out to Thai Food Panda. Nick, I will toss the ball to you.
Dang, Thai Food was a good choice, because he has been doing his thing. One guy I would like to say from St. Louis, Missouri, named Larry Green. He was like one of the first comics to win the Helium Comedy Club competition and the Funny Bone competition in the same year. And he self-produced his own shows in St. Louis. And then when everything happened, he pretty much just started taking everything virtually. And he a fan of battle rap. So he does a lot of the videos making fun, just reenacting different types of battle raps and making even more comedic than what it is, and been doing his thing. So he ain't been letting the COVID shutdown pretty much stop his grind.
I love that. Richard, what about you?
Oh my God, if I do this, if I start naming people, I'm gonna forget somebody and I'm gonna make somebody mad. So I ain't gonna name nobody. They know who they are. That's just a slippery slope. I'm not doing it. Not doing it. No, I know so many brilliant unknown comics, and so yeah, if y'all listening to this, know that I know, love, and respect you. Please continue to grind.
Yes. And I say the same sentiment. And I just want to shout you out because, like I said, meeting comics outside of your city and just seeing what you were doing and helping mentor everybody and just seeing that dynamic that just truly inspired me. So I love it. Keep doing what you're doing, OG. I see you, as they say. I see you, young blood. I see you. You out. I love it. Of course, I got to get into what's coming up locally. So we have John Heffron coming to the Kansas City Improv the weekend of the 15th through the 17th. Follow up the weekend, the 22nd through the 24th. We have Carlos Miller. And then on the 28th, we have a special one night with Mark Norman. And the following weekend with that, the 29th and the 30th, I apologize, we have Tom McComas. And then the next week, Lord, we have the impressionist himself, Aries Spears, coming through with 3 nights at the Kansas City Improv. So get your tickets. I have worked there. I can say they do their best to social distance. They have moved the tables apart and took some tables out, as well as the Comedy Club of KC. They have plexiglass and all that and whatnot. So they do try to keep yourself safe, and they do require that you wear your mask. Okay, they do, unless you're putting a drink in your mouth. So also, upcoming shows at the Comedy Club of KC. We got Rick Michaels from Wildin' Out as well, coming January 15th through the 17th. And then we have Tim Gaither coming the 21st to the 23rd. And Brent Morin coming the 28th through the 31st. And the first week of February, we have Kerwin Claiborne, which I'm excited. Like, his shows, they crack me up. Like, I ain't never seen nobody do that many outfit and wig changes, Lord. Bless that man and his body temperature, because I know he'd be hot. But yes, those are the upcoming shows coming up in Kansas City. You know, I like to close this thing out with a benefit of laughter. And I have to stress that right now, because we are still in a very high situation with this pandemic. It's all about boosting your immune system. It's all about making yourself healthy. I don't think they preached that to us on the news. They just talked about washing your hands and things like that, which you should have been doing. But nobody ever said go eat some vegetables, drink some water, get all of that good stuff in your body. Vitamin C, vitamin D. Now they want to say, oh, people had a vitamin D deficiency that, suffer from this. So all I'm saying is one of the things that laughter does is boost your immune system. Laughter decreases stress hormone and increases immune cells and infection fighting antibodies, thus improving your resistance to disease. So all I'm saying is while you're out here in these streets, laugh under the mask. Keep your mask on, but laugh under it and get through it and persevere through it, because Lord, we got to laugh at it. I don't know what we can do besides laugh at some of the things that are going on, but I definitely don't recommend crying. Also, crying brings on a whole bunch of other stupid stuff that is not good for your immune system, but laughter is. So I just want to close out on that note. But before we go, yes, Richard, you have something?
I'd also like to remind everybody to check on the Aunt Tifa. Y'all know please. She lives by herself. and ain't got nothing but that little dog that be pooping all over the place. Check on your Aunt Tifa. She missed human contact. Please check on Tifa. Check on your Aunt Tifa. Check on Tifa.
And check on your friends that might have went on a vacation this weekend. Your pink friends, you're not that might have went on a little family vacation. And them are the people you should not talk to, okay? Just leave them people alone. The people is not going to be living in that house next door to you.
Check on any people.
Janelle. Hey, Janelle.
You said what?
I say check on us Houston people. We didn't get snow. Everybody around us got it. The Gulf of Mexico got snow. We didn't get snow.
That's just because y'all blessed and favored. Y'all didn't want, y'all tires didn't need that. They need that.
Janelle.
Yes, ma'am.
Can y'all check on my stimulus check? I haven't got it yet, so maybe some of y'all got some connection and can find out how come they ain't sent me my stimulus money yet. But look, you didn't ask me about my favorite comedian. I want to send a shout out to my niece Janelle Banks, baby. She is blasting all over the United States. If you have not heard her, you better get online with her because she's the next queen of comedy. Do you hear me?
Okay.
Don't say that. I'm shy.
Baby, they better get themselves together.
Thank you. I would like my album does drop next month. I'm so excited. It's called The Hams, and it was a good album. I'm excited to just it's a good old fun time.
It's good.
I think you're gonna chuckle a little bit.
It's good.
Good. Yes. So thank y'all so much for tuning in to the Comedy Power Hour. Y'all know we are here every second Monday of the month. Who will I have coming back next month? I don't know. You never know. This show was so fun today. I thank you so much for coming on and taking time to do this with. This was exciting. I love it. And I just love picking other people's brain and just getting all perspective of comedy. Keep grinding, keep doing what y'all doing. I appreciate everything that y'all do for comedy and what y'all bring, the OG. I think you kind of are OG. Your philosophy and your wisdom, all of that you drop for us is kind of very OG-ish. So, yes, Richard, you are a gem. I already know. I did some research. You're a gem. And Tracy, thank you for supporting live comedy, dude. Like, I think that is so important for people who go to shows. People dropping, they have to pay for 2 tickets at a time now. So I always want to thank you for actually attending shows because that's double the money. And it's like a for real 2 item minimum now at clubs, like they are enforcing that, So just thank y'all for
that $150 bill hurt for 2 drinks and some snacks.
Yeah, absolutely. So just thank y'all so much. Thank you for Facebook Live. Also, be nice to your postal worker. I did my postal worker's hair yesterday. Stop stressing them about their check. They ain't got nothing to do with it. They don't have it. Don't do it. And if you don't live at that place of residence anymore, you need to forward your mail. Do not be stalking the mailman to get the check at your old apartment. You're not.
I'm stalking him. I'm stalking him.
That is a felony. That is a felony.
I want my check. I want my check by any means necessary. I need my check.
Antifa got it.
Antifa, y'all almost made me say something that was nice. Antifa better let loose my check.
Y'all, thank y'all so much for tuning into the Comedy Power Hour. I have been your host, Janelle Banks. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, I'm Linda, for tuning in. Y'all have a good time. Bye.
Bye. Peace.
Peace.
All right, and thanks everyone for joining KUAW Radio for the Comedy Power Hour.